we have a break tonight if we're comfortable. We'll go through the whole process, but if the board's comfortable, we can simply decide we need more time, so.
Well, I
So
noticed that
probably-
I know two of the applicants are sitting right here, so
I know that, I know,
that
yeah.
proves a lot of
Well,
interest.
there's
That's a lot of
three.
pressure.
There's three.
Oh, there's three, that's right.
Three,
Yeah, but somebody might have to get off the building committee if he was on our committee.
but this.
That's no conflict.
Sure.
I want whatever's best for the town.
So,
Kate's coming from a fire, so.
yes,
She's, yeah,
you can stand over there,
so,
just so you sound
So-
official.
yeah, right, but he can come to me.
That way it won't be in front of you.
There were fireworks in the house.
I
That's
really.
what started, you don't.
I don't know, I don't know.
Where was it?
Because I did,
Yeah.
Late, in a while, perhaps.
It's off Chapman Road,
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
you know?
See, I've got three in my original committee, and I was able to take them all, but I know we can't.
Listen to two of them.
It's not just me, we all have to figure it out. You're gonna have to stay.
Trash junk coupons. What, are you speaking to the trash junk coupons, or?
Sure.
Yeah, no, look.
Okay.
Where is this part?
It's a great
Where is this
idea.
part? I tried to find it on the agenda.
What?
For the volunteer board committee, withdrawal committee.
It was there.
It was there?
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking,
B,
because I
item
know
B.
I'm blind.
Item B.
Oh, there we go. Thank you so much. Yeah, just want to put a star next to, listen, they already know I'm a little like, Catherine knows, I'm a little like, I gotta get my act together here. Oh, maybe I need a drink. This kind.
I'll share the event. I'm just exhausted. Right.
That's why it is so hot.
Yeah. That's the only one?
Well, no, I've got one more, I think. Is it
Okay.
like-
I was there last night. when they did this.
Just one thing.
I didn't,
This is the second.
I was just, again,
Did you see Melvin? Melvin wanted to come over and say hi.
oh, yeah, he came.
He says to Linda, I want to go say hi to Linda.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay.
Susan outside, Susan asked him if he was coming next week, and he said yes. Yes.
Oh, nice. And then I can get, well, maybe I can get my son and his wife and their little one to come, and they can play together.
Yeah, next week's
They're
perfect.
asking you to
If you want, just join us. I'll mention it.
I know.
Because we're not all the way up, but we're
I saw them last summer.
Andy Fawcett and grasshoppers. It's a tree.
Oh, cool.
She's saying, I hear
Yeah.
but it's so hot. It's not something my people
Oh.
feel she's totally
I think I saw her. I don't think I missed him last year.
So, you see, she's really.
Okay, good. But you know who I'm looking
6
forward to?
o'clock.
I'm looking forward to Halloween, because I like Halloween. And I haven't seen them in a little while. I'm gonna talk to them.
Try not to yawn.
Have you got, oh, 601. Oh, 601. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dane's pulling it. Yeah, I just thought
Oh,
perfect
good.
timing. And with the two there.
Should we just say congratulations on being chair when he wants it?
We already voted,
We
you're
already
in.
voted your chair.
He would probably. In a good or, you know, I don't know.
Buildings, trains.
Yeah.
I see Wendy got the signs
Oh.
down here.
Huh?
I see Wendy got the signs sitting down here.
Yep.
Scott Harden.
What?
Scott Harden.
Oh, Scott did, okay. Wendy's the one who said something to me about it, and I said, well.
I didn't actually see who got it.
Yeah.
They were just there.
You made it, that is
Yeah.
dedication.
I know.
Holy
You already
mackerel.
Yeah.
Wasn't the first meeting I'm at.
Wow, neat.
You're ready to, ready,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, take a deep breath.
Is it under control? The fire?
Fire's been out there. Vacant house, and it was discovered by two Spectrum workers.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, I say vacant, it's, the person who lived there has, I guess, somebody, neighbors said passed away, and the children are kind of taking it, but there's been nobody there for a long time.
Okay, ready to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. I call the July 9th, 2026 Selectmen's Meeting to order. First item of business is the election of the chairman. Do I have a nomination for chairman?
I nominate Phil Devlin.
Second.
Okay. Any other nominations? Okay, I see none. All those in favor of Phil Devlin as chairman?
I think I could vote for this.
There we go.
Yay,
That was easy.
congratulations.
That is it. I'm going to turn it over to you now.
All right, give me the gavel then. You had your moment of glory. Thank you.
Thanks, Kristen.
Good job.
Good job, well done. The second item on the agenda is the election of the select board chair, so the floor is open for nominations for vice chair.
I nominate Nate Sessions.
Second.
No other nominations? Then motion's been made and seconded to nominate Nate as vice chair. All in favor? 5-0.
Congratulations.
Nate.
It's like a rerun of last year. Next item, any adjustments to the agenda?
Just one, it's just approval to purchase plastic covers, which is over the $10,000 threshold for select board approval. The public works director did price out from 3 different companies, so we'll go with the lowest cost, 3.
So, you want me to add that in the agenda under old business?
Sure.
Do you need a vote on that?
Yeah.
Is that, okay, so we'll add that under old business.
Then the other adjustment is to remove an item from the agenda,
Yep.
which is under
Right.
new business, letter
C.
C, because we're unable to do that without town meeting approval. I just
Yeah.
double check it with legal.
So that's something that will be queued up for the next town meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they fundraise, that's another option, is they may seek fundraising opportunities to be able to buy the lots.
Okay. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the town manager's report.
On June 17th, I was able to attend the annual Maine Municipal Association Human Resources Conference. So I got some valuable takeaways. There were a couple of particular workshops that fit right in with things going on here. And there was materials that I was able to take with me to use as templates as well. So that was definitely worth the trip over there. The state health inspector met with us at the Snack Shack. I think it was like the week before summer rec started. We just wanted to double check and make sure that everything was in compliance with the standards, and they were. The health inspector was happy with what he saw. Some of the reason also was because I had heard that Snack Shacks weren't needing to be licensed through the state, so that was another reason that he came over just to check and see what we had. I haven't heard back from him about whether we are going to have to get licensed or not, but he says that he'll work with it. We were able to open anyway and use it in the meantime, and if we do need to, he'll let us know and work with us through the process. So, have an intern that, or GP Cog has an intern that is working with them this summer, who has been assigned, one of those assignments has been working with us on our comprehensive plan. He has been in the office on Mondays, sometimes Mondays and Tuesdays, and we had an opportunity to have a meeting with Daryl earlier this week to talk about downtown revitalization, economic growth and development type of initiatives. So he's in touch with Daryl on whatever he can do to assist Daryl as well. Lewis Hill Road, I know that there were some complaints about the quality of the paving job that was done on Lewis Hill Road. We were able to get in touch with some new management at Pike Industries, who was very responsive. They came right out, met with the Public Works Director, and we will be getting warranty work out of for that project. So they'll be coming out to, if they haven't already, and it may have been this week, I can't remember what he told me, but what was it, Monday? They were, yeah, so they've come back to take care of the, under warranty.
Is it Lewis Road?
Lewis Road, yeah. Catherine has been working on a welcome packet for new residents. Kind of one of those things I've always thought would be a nice thing for towns to have. I know when I moved into Bridgeton, I went to the town office. Is there any kind of like a info kit or like a, you know, that gives you, and they're like, no, we don't have anything like that. So I just looked at what she has for a draft. It's coming along. So I'll have that on for an agenda item to have you take a look at it when it's finished.
Great idea.
Personnel policies in the hands of legal, and I did catch up with our attorney through Drummond and Woodsum, and on that as well as various other issues that have been kind of been a little bit jammed up in the wheels of progress, and that should only be a couple of weeks. They have an attorney that specializes in personnel stuff. So hopefully my goal would be to have that on for the July 23rd meeting. If they can get it to us in time. Some other upcoming things that are in the queue that I've got on the dry erase board. For the next July meeting, we'll have the Q4 finance report, and then 3 other policies I'm looking at, working on, hopefully at least getting one of them moving for the next meeting. The use of revolving fund policy. So in order for us to be able to take funds out of the recreation reserve accounts, we need to have some kind of a policy on that. So I'll be working with the finance director on getting that going. I'm going to start working. I'd like to start working on a governance policy and lake level policy as well. Also, another item that had popped up for the 23rd is going to be a request for grant fund. Request for me to apply for a grant through the Maine Community Development Foundation for. They offer grants of $10,000 for assisting planning boards and code enforcement with updating ordinances to comply with the affordable housing, any changes to do with LD 1829. So that I don't know, because that goes into effect for July of 27. So that'll give us the year to get things in order. I think that's it. Any questions?
Questions for the town manager? All good?
Thank you.
Vacation time? Taking some more to come?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
taking a whole day. So I'll try to, I don't know that not that I don't feel comfortable doing a full week, just because of, I've done a long weekend and seen what the email looks like when I come back. But I'm trying to do some Fridays and Mondays over the course of the next,
Oh, that's
Good.
fun.
so, yeah.
Good.
Perfect.
Don't want
We'll-
you getting burnt out.
We'll be checking on that to be sure that
Okay.
occurs according to plan. Next item is additional reports, and we have a wealth of information. Which we usually don't go through in detail. But certainly maybe John can answer any questions. I know there's a couple of reports on speed compliance, so this comes out of that software that we bought, and it would be something that if we go forward with the Public Safety Committee, would be utilized by them,
By the public safety.
by the Public Safety Committee. But certainly for the board, it's something for the board members to review and ask questions that they may have about whether, and if there's additional data that they could request in the future. So it's just a first pass, I guess, at starting to provide some detailed information. And as well as speed mitigation reporting, we have general assistance. And code enforcement.
Something you'll notice in the code enforcement report is in a couple of the areas of permitting, there does seem to be some downward trending on building permits and plumbing permits.
Oh,
In the year-to-date numbers.
Yep. Mhm. Year-to-date numbers for code enforcement are calendar year?
I believe it's.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
It's in the
Yeah.
calendar.
And animal control?
Animal control had a fairly busy month, relatively
Yeah.
speaking. That's almost double about what she normally does for the month, usually about half dozen animal complaints.
I think, is it just about a year she's been doing this?
Yeah, I would say about a
Roughly.
year, yeah,
Okay.
was when Brad was here, right? Yeah.
Well, give her at least my compliments on her presentation of the data. I mean, it's very thorough.
Thank you for the compliments of how I put forward our report.
oh, that's not how you get it.
No, she gives me very, very, very overly detailed things that I didn't really think.
Well, John, give the compliments to whoever's entitled to receive it.
Something you'll notice in the clerk's report is the Boston Post and Kane recipient. It's gonna be awarded on July 16th at 2 o'clock if somebody from the select board's
Yep,
available.
okay.
That's awesome.
96 years young.
I know.
Wow.
She still drives and lives alone.
Oh my gosh. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should meet her, she's full of it.
Oh.
She's wonderful.
It's great.
Something out of the, I noticed in the rec report was that they had a really good turnout for the parent night before summer rec started. That's good to see that parents came out.
How
Oh,
many
that's great.
kids do we have in summer rec this year?
We have a total of 76 that are enrolled.
So we're down from last year a little bit?
We are, yeah.
I saw in the paper that Casco was the only one in the area having a swim program this year.
Bridgeton does too.
I'm sorry?
Bridgeton has swim lessons as well.
Okay. All right.
Brown tail moth situation's all been taken care of down there finally?
Yep,
No
yep,
more
there-
issues?
Cause, and Al had been monitoring it, after we were starting to get additional complaints. And-
Yep.
And I think the biggest thing that seemed to clear it out was we had two good rainstorms in the course of the week. And you didn't see a lot of remnants of anything left after those rainstorms, so.
I'm gonna be here for the Boston Cane presentation if, I just put it in the calendar.
Okay.
Unless there's a fire.
Unless other duties call. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes. Just skipping ahead to Harbor Masters, it looks like there's work to be done.
In the tracking of the moorings,
Yeah.
yeah, they've got 260 completed applications, but for some reason I don't know if that's in a spreadsheet or what system he's referring to that has over 600. So you're working on sorting through any unidentified or duplicate things that could be duplicated.
Is there a question as to how much effort this is gonna take him and how many hours he works?
He's assisted by Megan in the clerk's office, so
Okay.
she's able to help him with at least the administrative side of things with, you know, and then he, as he's out on his routine patrols, I believe he also spends some of that time checking out the moorings.
Okay, okay. I don't know if he was giving us a heads up in his statement about this may generate frustration. So, we may very possibly hear from residents.
That have been flying under the radar with moorings that haven't been registered.
That is quite a task he has there.
Yes, he does.
Hmm?
Been an uptick in, if you notice on the fire and rescue report, an uptick in call volume over the month of June.
Lots of rescue calls.
Yeah.
John, I know at one time you were producing some stats on response coverage. And I guess as we start the next fiscal year and we get the public safety committee going, we should continue that sort of reporting.
Yep.
Any questions on any of the
No, good report.
detailed department reports? A lot of good information that takes time to digest. No other questions for John? Nick?
Was there an update on the engine brake or the jet ski usage on Crystal?
Yeah, I met with the harbor master last week, and he was gonna make efforts to, he was already aware of that.
Okay.
And he was gonna patrol on Crystal Lake. He is able to, he's not able to enforce, but what he can do is take down their registration number.
Mhm.
And he said in the past, the warden service has issued summonses based
Okay.
on his report.
Okay.
I notified the warden service as well. As far as the engine brake, I did talk to DOT. They will not put a sign up unless we have an ordinance.
Mhm.
But the public works director is gonna be working on putting up some courtesy,
Okay.
no engine brake signs.
Great, thank you.
I was out on Crystal Lake on 4th of July and I noticed only 3 jet skis out there. And they weren't causing any issues.
No.
I was out there all afternoon. Did any of the women who came in to make the complaint, have they gotten in touch with you in regards to the procedure of banning jet skis on?
No, they asked me if I had any update. They had come back to me, because they originally brought it to my attention, and I said I would bring it up at the select board meeting, what the next steps there were. So it sounds like I can let them know that the harbor master will be out patrolling, looking, and if he sees something, he'll write it down and provide it over to
To the warden service.
warden service.
Yep.
Yep.
But I thought they were looking into banning them. Did they want the information on how to, that procedure? Because
They wanted to
basically
know what
that.
our next steps were from the select board.
Okay.
So short-term, sort of short-term, long-term.
Yep.
So short-term, it sounds like
Mhm.
In-house enforcement.
Yep.
we'll have try and have a little better coverage and enforcement procedure. But I think the question in the long term was that procedure for banning them from the lake, which is a state procedure that would have to be initiated
By the citizens.
via citizen request. So that might be something we can talk a little bit more at the next meeting, the long term.
We also could put in another no wake buoy. There's 2 out there now. Possibly look at putting another one out further near the dam, out that way, in that cove.
Any other questions for John? If not, external agency entity reports. I don't think we have anything this week.
Yep.
We'll move to public participation. So if there are any topics that the public would like to discuss that are not on the agenda, seeing none. We'll move on to consent agenda and 2 items, the approval of warrants, which have all been signed. And approval of minutes for the select board meeting of June 25th, 2025. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any questions, discussion? No? Hearing none, all in favor? 5-0. Move on to old business. And remote and hybrid meeting policy. And John, I think you had a couple of changes.
Yep, I removed
From our last
the section, anything that included specifics to the type of platform. And also any reference to it being an emergency, so, in that language, that's in section 3. I think section 2 had some definitions of specific platforms. So section 3's been kind of scaled back a little bit to remove anything to do with it being emergency. And then there was another section I removed that said that the preferred platform was go-to meeting. So that was the only other, I can't remember where that was. It was a little further down, but that's been removed.
Any questions for John? Any concerns?
Did notice a couple typos on the first page, minor things. Third line up from the bottom. As soon as possible. Is that supposed to say
Practical, yeah.
for practical?
Oh, I looked that up, it's a word.
Is it
Pra-
really?
It is.
Practicable?
Yeah, I know, I saw that, that's why I looked it up. and-
It is.
Okay.
It is. It's,
Alright.
it's not used as
Like a
frequently.
combination of
As soon as, yeah.
practical and possible combined.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Practical.
was gonna change it, but then I double checked and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No, it's,
Well, it's missing a period earlier in that sentence.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, the same line there.
In-person meeting, right?
Mhm.
Practicable.
practicable, yes.
You're right. Fair enough, sorry.
See, you learned something.
Do we need a?
Not to be
make a
confused with
motion to
practical.
approve this?
What's that, Mike?
If they're All right, any other questions for John? Entertain a motion to approve the remote and hybrid meeting policy as shown.
I make a motion to approve the remote and hybrid meeting policy pursuant to.
As submitted, yep, I'm sorry.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the remote and hybrid meeting policy as submitted. All in favor? 5-0. And I think we added here, an item B, the culvert.
Oh, yep. I couldn't get it to print correctly, but I'll give you the numbers. The green section is in order from top to bottom, $13.97, then $19.49, $30.49, $54.56. So that's Portland Plastic, and that's the lowest,
Like they beat the price on every size.
looks like it, yeah.
GP Cogs doesn't do a bulk buying on this, they don't?
I don't believe culverts is on the list. There are several things that are, but. I don't
Culverts
remember.
isn't one of them?
It could be, I don't remember seeing it.
Okay.
Got the list right on my computer too.
So you need a motion to approve this?
Yes, per the purchasing policy, because it's over 10,000. Doesn't need formal bid, but it's, we're to, price it out with 3 different vendors, and
Yep.
what was the lowest price, we can make a recommendation of the select board.
Ready for a motion?
I think so, yep.
I make a motion that we approve the purchase of culverts from Portland Plastic
Second,
for the amount of $14,810.
second.
So motion's been made and seconded to approve the purchase of the culverts for $14,810 from Portland Plastic. All in favor? 5-0. Moving on to new business. Is the first item what we've done?
I think that's what the
Yeah.
intent was with
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So we have
Unless there's any other organizational items that you can think of at the beginning of the new fiscal year for the board.
all appointments that were necessary have been made, or those are the signatures for the certifications that we've done?
Fees are set.
Fees are set.
Holiday calendars, it's done. A separate item on here is the, review treasurer's disbursement warrant.
Okay.
but
Okay.
I think
All right.
that's,
So we're officially organized for another year.
I think so.
All right, we'll move on to item B, which is school district withdrawal committee appointments. So the board has formally created the withdrawal committee. The committee will consist of 4 members.
Is it limited to 4?
It's limited to 4 official members,
Okay.
but other people can attend the meetings.
Okay.
Just can't be voting members.
Can't be voting members, that's right. According to what,
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean,
Sounds-
it seems
yes,
like there's a lot of
yes.
interest, so I'd like to.
I know.
Get as much
yep,
thought and idea there, so.
So one of the things that the board, the committee will organize itself, and it can certainly make up organizational rules and procedural rules in terms of how it wants to handle participation. So that might be something that, for the committee to think about if it turns out there's a lot of public interest and you get a lot of attendance at meetings. The school district will appoint 1 member. I don't know that that's been done yet. officially. We haven't heard anything, right?
No, but they are able to, the chair of the school board as well as Mark Curran are planning to be here on the 23rd, which is your next select board meeting.
Okay.
A little bit before the meeting to have the first official, because they got their letter as well with the timeline, and they have, so many days to be able to hold the first official meeting as well, so. What time do you think, Deb, would be?
Well, I guess it depends who else
Yeah, yeah.
is not, is
So
on
we'll-
it, right?
Right.
Yeah, so.
6 applications here.
I know.
That's good.
So just to sort of restate what our job is for tonight,
Mhm.
we have to appoint 2 members from the public and 1 member from the board.
Mhm.
And so my suggestion is we do the public members first.
And they have, and it was a school board meeting Monday night, so I believe that's where they'll be officially appointing their,
Representative?
yeah.
Okay. Okay, and you did say there's a timeline for how soon the first meeting,
Oh, yeah.
This
There's
will
all
take
kinds of
place.
Timelines in here. Yeah.
so that puts some pressure on us to do our job tonight to appoint 2 members. So having said that, and I'll probably in more of a long-winded way than necessary, everybody, board has the request for appointment. And we have some members in attendance. What's the-
Do we want them to speak? Because I bet they would. Maybe they wouldn't.
So we will not force anyone to speak, but certainly as, under this agenda item, that anyone who would like to can have as much time, I think, as they would like. So we'll just make that offer to anyone who.
I mean, personally, I'd like to continue with what I started, so,
Can we ask them questions?
If the board is,
I'll just look
feels
into.
that's appropriate, we can.
I was just looking-
The only thing I would caution you is we just, we'll have to be a little careful just to be sure that everyone has the same opportunity in terms of how we ask the questions and the kind of questions we ask. So having said that, yes, go ahead and ask your question.
No, I was going through the applications, and one of my concerns was you have the 6, and I believe, Amy, you have at least 1 child in the school system?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that I think is valuable, having somebody on the board that has a child in the school system. That's all I'd like to say. That's my opinion.
She's the only one.
That's all, yeah. I didn't see anybody else that.
I just have a general question for any of the candidates who would like to respond. I'm concerned about how much time, I think this is gonna require some significant time. And there are some deadlines, I mean, there are some timeframes that say that things have to happen pretty quickly. So, one of the concerns would be the availability to be able to attend the meetings. And I just don't know how much flexibility there's gonna be and how those will get scheduled. So I would just wanna be sure that whoever we appoint feels comfortable. I do see some comments, you know, in some cases. Amy, in your case, you work full-time.
Yeah, and I've been paying attention to Buckfield because they're going through this in
Yep.
part. And most of their meetings have been evening because every member has
Okay.
a full-time job, so. And they've actually
Yep.
finished step 8, so they're meeting on interview review right now.
Okay.
The first one looks like, if you look at the website, there might be some limited.
Yeah, limited
Yeah.
Yes.
availability.
Yes. Mhm.
Should I say anything?
Yes, I think you are simply one of the board members at this point in time. You
Okay.
have some familiarity.
Yes, I do.
And you probably have, of the board members, the best understanding of what has to happen next.
I would just like to say that 3 of the applicants that were on the HEOC, Amy, Andrea, and Dale, were extremely valuable members of that committee. They attended almost every meeting, they had great input, they helped us gather information. Andrea is very humble. She has a lot more experience than is written on this application. She actually was involved in a withdrawal process in Connecticut. They didn't go through with it, but she was involved, which that was very valuable for us. Then there is Kim, who has been involved in a lot of what's going on with the whole school thing, including the building committee. He attended a lot of our meetings as well, so I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for your participation and for wanting to continue. I think it's wonderful. I would take all of you in a second, but I know we can't do that.
I would like to be sure that the board has the same understanding of what to expect out of the committee. I think we had talked, my understanding was that the analysis to decide whether or not it makes sense to withdraw is the first step in the process that the withdrawal committee will have to do. Is that the understanding of?
When you read through this, there may be some things we have to discuss, what comes first, chicken or egg, because this talks about the responsibility of the withdrawal committee of coming up with an agreement, and there's something here about 90 days. And I don't know that we'd be ready to do that. So I think the first meeting will be interesting, let me just say.
Let me make sure I understand what you're saying. The
I don't-
timeline is fairly rigid as stated in the statute.
And I think the first meeting, we will be establishing that timeline to make sure we all understand what it is.
Okay. Let me just state it a different way, just to
Yeah.
be sure. I think the concern is that the statute, the ballot question was misleading in terms of the way it's stated about, it seems as though we're voting to withdraw.
Correct.
Okay, that's not the case. The vote was really to look at whether withdrawal makes sense, and then if it makes sense,
We
To
vote
then-
again, yes,
to then do a negotiation
yes.
process. Okay, so I think what you're saying is because that step of determining whether withdrawal is practicable, that this timeline, if we're held to it, might be more of a 100-yard dash than a marathon.
I just don't know what this statement about this agreement must be submitted to the commissioner with 90 days after the committee is formed. I don't know what that agreement is. It's not clear.
I think with the help of our educational consultant that we
Yeah.
had, and also the attorney, all withdrawal committees have a consultant and an attorney on it, because there's stuff that, as a layperson, we don't know the law. And they would be the ones that say, and you can also, if you don't make the 90 days, you can ask
Oh, that's right.
for an extension.
Extension, okay. I do have a question, a general question for any of the candidates that might want to ask it. And it goes back to this this deliverable, if you will, which is determining whether withdrawal makes sense. Do you have any thoughts you want to share on what that should look like? In other words, before we get into negotiating withdrawal, I think what the town is interested in hearing is will this be practical or not? And I don't think at this point we've talked much about what that will look like, how they will make the, so I don't know if you've got any thoughts.
One of our major factors is where is the elementary school going?
Mhm.
That's what we've heard from people. So where is that new building gonna be? Would it also change maybe what we're gonna do with the Harrison Elementary School? But we don't have any information on that, and we thought we would by the time we
Okay.
came to this point.
Are there other criteria, such as financial comparison, impact on the tax rates, or educational outcomes that
I
you think?
personally think, I mean, looking at educational options, which educational wise for the kids, like where they're gonna get the best education, it might not be a savings, but if they can get a better education
Mhm.
somewhere,
Mhm.
or, you know, at least a step above where they are.
Yeah, I mean, are we gonna be looking, is the committee gonna be looking at everything? I mean, just
I think,
cost, I mean, just another factor that I think should be looked at too is, I was just, like I said before, I think at a meeting, I was just shocked that Oxford Hills gave $1.4 million away in scholarships, with Lake Region only gave like $20,000 or $50,000 away in scholarships. I really think that's, you know, and that's year after year, that's what Oxford Hills gives away. You know, I think that should be weighed somewhat too, or what these kids, you know, and trade schools, is all that going to be looked at too? You know, the education that these kids are getting, and how Oxford Hills also has the community college right there. I mean, is all this stuff gonna, I'm just asking. I
yeah,
mean,
of course.
I don't have any
As far as I
kids,
know,
so I don't.
we have to look at everything. We don't want to make this decision wrong. We don't want to do it wrong.
I think one of the most important questions to answer first is there an option that keeps Harrison Elementary open?
Yeah, for sure,
Right.
100%.
Right.
And, you know, if Lake Region is something that we look at, are they going to commit to keeping Harrison Elementary open?
Right.
A building that's 50 years old that has millions of dollars in deferred maintenance, who's gonna pay for that maintenance? Is the district gonna absorb it? All towns in the district gonna
Right.
absorb the maintenance, or is that gonna be, you know, bared by the town of Harrison? And you know, after we get beyond that question, it's, you know, the cost per student. And, you know, we pay $25,000 with Oxford Hills, what's the cost gonna be with Lake Region? And are there gonna be additional costs potentially to keep our school open? We may have to, you know, purchase the building, and we may have to pay for the maintenance.
Yeah.
We don't know what the answer is at this point.
That's right.
I think, you know, the root cause of this whole withdrawal educational options committee was the fear of losing our school.
Yeah.
And, you know, is there an option that keeps our school open? I think that's the primary question to be answered, and then the costs with each option are nearly as important.
And then we do have to, if we keep the elementary school open, then you do have to find a district, you have to go into a 10-year contract with that district to keep your kids. So if we separated from Region 17, but we could do a contract with them that they will take our middle school and high school kids, but it has to be a 10-year agreement. So you have to find, like, will 61 take us, or will we stay, or our elementary school, our middle school, high school kids stay with Region 17?
So are you referring to an option where we were to operate our own elementary school?
That's one of the options that we reviewed when we did in the other committee.
I think it's no matter what we come up with, it's a 10-year commitment,
Yes.
right? Yes. No, so it's not like we can change our mind next year. We gotta be sure.
And we should look at it as much longer than 10 years. It should be.
Yeah, true.
I mean, the
thought that we might do something different 10 years down the road is, you know, something to be considered.
Question for the board, does the board think there's a need to get together once the committee is formed to make sure there's an agreement as to how to do this, for lack of a better term, evaluation of the options? What criteria to use, for example? I'm hearing three or four things.
I think once the board sits down with their consultant and the lawyer, and they come up with a game plan, to circle back with us and make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay.
And we go back to the name of the first committee, the Harrison Educational Options Committee. You know, if we honestly look at our educational options unbiasedly and provide data of what our options are, I think people would be happy to see that.
I do too, I think it will be important for us to be able to provide information as the process progresses. I know the school district put out a public statement, and I found it interesting that they seem to be suggesting that it costs more to educate a student in Lake Region than
Yeah, I read
it
that.
did at Oxford Hills.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is they didn't obviously use the cost to Harrison and what we pay to educate a student in Oxford Hills.
They use the other.
They use
towns.
the other
Correct.
towns instead of not.
So that-
You take their entire budget divided by their entire number of students,
Yeah.
Correct.
and
Yeah.
their cost to educate
Correct.
at 17 is lower than 60.
So that sort of tells us that the committee, I think, will need a public communication plan to be sure that the information is accurate.
Not that I am on this or anything, but I've already talked to Catherine. The way Buckfield has it listed on their website is very, it lists each step with each date that they've completed each step. And so I think she's gonna work on, for that, under the, combine the HEEOC with a withdrawal committee page on that.
Okay.
I know-
Also understand, we can stop anytime. The state says if we get into halfway, we're like, this doesn't make any sense for us to do this because something else came up or whatever. We're not married once we start this committee that we have to continue.
Mike had mentioned trade school, you know, the vocational schools that the two schools offer, they vary. That's to be considered, and also the sports program, you know, a Class A school and a Class B school is to be considered. Those things are, you know, important to certain people.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Again, general question for the applicants. Do you feel comfortable with what you have for consulting services available?
Kim, do you mind, I got a message from people watching online that they can't hear you guys in the audience going up there. I'm sorry. We're not gonna put you up, but they just can't, they know you're talking, but they
What
can't
was
hear.
the question?
You feel comfortable with the
So we've had some resources
Yeah.
that you've been using up to this point in time. And the question is whether those resources are adequate for some of what we're talking about here.
Connie and Dan both said that the number that we gave on election day was the number financially wise that they estimated at.
Yeah, I think my question more is Connie have the financial background to do some of the analysis we're talking about? Or do you need, or is there a need for
She's
someone else?
was working with the Brownfield group. I noticed that on their, watching their videos. So I think she has the background to do it.
Okay. Questions from the board? I think our options are to make decisions tonight, select members, or to decide if we need more information before selecting from the applicants that we have in front of us, those present and those on paper.
Do you know if the applicants were aware that we may be choosing the committee tonight? I just don't, I don't recall if that was listed on the posting.
Any advertisement?
Everyone that submitted when I informed them that you were receiving it tonight.
Thank you.
John, a quick question going forward, just to be sure we have all of our legal ducks in a row. The role, so we appoint a committee, and that committee has a budget. Is there any limitations on the use of town resources, municipal resources during this process? People on staff, for example?
Okay.
Or is it, maybe that's a question for the future, just to be sure.
What's your idea? You have an idea in your head?
Well, I think so we have a budget we've assigned to this committee.
Mm-hmm.
Which we're assuming will be sufficient for the resources you need to do some of the things that we're talking about here. The question is, well, will it be a draw upon town resources?
You mean labor?
Labor, yeah. Yeah, will we start to interfere with town services with using town resources to do some of the work on this? We didn't, obviously, we haven't budgeted for town resources to be working on this withdrawal process. This is not an insignificant feasibility here that we're talking about. I just don't know how we'll be able to be sure we don't draw resources away from services we need to provide. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
So maybe just think about that. Okay.
So we had the HEOC for what, a year and a half, and we barely used any town resources.
Mhm.
We didn't even meet here, so I don't anticipate a whole lot of difference unless we're supposed to meet here, I'm not sure.
Well, I think from some of the discussion tonight,
Mhm.
you're gonna get tougher questions from the board going forward.
There could be some work on the finance officer, or, Catherine, or, so but
Or
I
setting
don't
up
know
website,
the amount of.
Okay,
of
all right, just a concern, I
work
guess.
for it, though, but-
It's something we'll have to be careful of.
Noted.
Did we resolve our question that we had about,
Can both of the appointed members be prior?
HEOC members? Or does one have to be somebody who had not been on that committee?
It doesn't say that it couldn't be, right?
The member from the public, it doesn't say whether they are required not to have been involved.
That's right.
That's our general understanding.
Mr. Chair?
Another applicant is also in the room.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if Kim would like to speak. So we'll-
You certainly can as an applicant. I tried to sort of direct my questions to the general applicants in the room.
Yeah, I'm Kim Reynolds, and like I said, I was surprised I got selected on the building committee, because I just wanted to figure out how the process worked, basically. And I've learned a whole lot about schools, because I didn't realize there's a pre-K program. Basically, and that's a federal program, but the new schools make allowances to continue that program in the building itself. In other words, they take
Pre-K, is that?
pre-K, they take all the way infants
Yeah.
to kindergarten, depending upon if you qualify for the program. So I didn't realize that's another part of having an elementary school. I mean, we don't have to have that program, but I'm just, there's a whole lot that goes on, and then again, I think we also need to take a look at our middle school and our high school.
Mhm.
Always seemed to me we're too much focused on the elementary school. you know, from my perspective, I think, again, I may be biased, but I think Oxford Hills offers more than Lake Region does, the high school. You know, but again, I don't have any students in there, but I mean, I've just learned what I've been here for the past 8 years, but, and again, I just want to do what's best for Harrison. I'm not, you know, and again, I volunteer on the elementary building committee just to figure out how the systems work up in Maine. You know, I learned a whole lot about how the school board works and that. And, you know, I have a lot of now background of how, you know, how the school districts run too as well. So.
Quick question, Kim. Let me see if I can word this correctly. So you've obviously put a lot of time in thus far as on the elementary building committee.
That's correct.
So should there be a concern that your sort of emotional investment in that process might influence this hopefully complete analysis of what the options are? That you've been working on that for what, a year now?
Yeah, and then we pretty much ironed the design of the school.
Yeah.
And depends upon the selecting of how they lay it out. And then it's just more or less, which I know very little about the academics end of it. You know, I'm not familiar with that, but I just feel fortunate. My main interest, I just want to make sure they select something that's going to last and something that doesn't cost a lot to maintain. You know, as far as the building and the school, the education committee, the state, they have a lot of those rules as well, because they're providing the money, so we have to follow all their rules.
Any questions for Kim while we have him away from the camera?
Kim, do you have any idea how much longer you'll be on the elementary school building committee? How much longer that's gonna go before they decide on what's?
No, I don't. I mean, hopefully they'll have the building site select, you know, once they get the finalized, you know, from the owners of where it's gonna be, that'll be announced.
Is there a time frame for that? Approximate time frame on when they may announce the location?
It should, there's not really a time frame, but I expect it should be done at least by October.
Last time we asked it was May, so, and that was, I understand that a prior location fell apart,
Right.
so.
But, you know, like I said, it depends upon how well they keep it underneath the location, and that's what happened to the other one. The location got out and then somebody, anyway. But.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Kim.
Questions? So as I mentioned earlier, I think we have two options. One is we can decide we need more information, in which case we would reschedule this to be addressed at the next meeting. Or if we have enough information and the board members are comfortable, they can make a motion to appoint the two members tonight.
I think we should have, I think we should appoint the two members tonight, especially if we're gonna have the school committee here before the next meeting. They wanna.
Well, on the 23rd is what they suggested, so.
Yeah.
23rd.
Is that
Which is the next meeting.
comfortable?
Yes.
Comfortable? Okay, I think there's a consensus. We'll appoint the two members tonight. If there aren't any further questions, then I'll entertain a motion to appoint two members individually. One motion to appoint one member and then a second motion to appoint a second member. We'll vote on both.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Amy Gary to the committee.
I second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. No further questions? If not, all in favor? Amy is appointed. second member, motion?
Can I do it?
Yes, you can.
I would like to make a motion that Andrea Lavery be the second member of the withdrawal committee from the public.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to appoint Andrea as the second member. Any questions, discussion? No further? All in favor? Okay, 5-0. We have two members that are part of the official withdrawal committee.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Kim, as well.
Yes, thank
Will-
you.
Will we be sending out letters to the other members, thanking them for?
And encouraging them, I think,
Yep,
hopefully
they
you
could
guys
still
still
come.
want them to
Mhm.
be involved
Mhm.
as much as
Involved
possible.
into that.
So I-
Oh, except I'm assuming I'm on it.
Oh, yeah, that's
Well,
true.
that's our next order of business.
Yeah. Oops, I should ask you guys, Keith.
Yeah.
This may take a while. though.
Okay, okay.
So the third member we have to appoint is a municipal official. And if the board doesn't have any questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we nominate Deborah Kane.
I second that.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? 5-0.
Can I vote?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can vote.
Okay.
Actually, I think, yes, because there's no stipend involved, so there's no financial interest, so.
So I will.
All there is hard work now.
I will volunteer to reach out to these other folks. Kim, you're always welcome. We'll let you know when the meetings are, because we know your interest. And I'll reach out to the other folks.
Encouraging them to,
Participate if they would like.
Participate.
Yep.
John, so just in terms of what happens next, you mentioned the 23rd?
I can get in touch with the school board chair and let them know that.
We have members.
Yep.
And the burden to schedule the first meeting is on the district school board chair.
So if we want to meet ahead of the select board meeting, that was your idea, I think. Can they do that? Like that same day, or do they, or what do you?
The 20, yeah, they said it'd just be, make it for convenience to do it on the 23rd before the select board meeting.
So just so I'm clear, that's a meeting the select board chair calls. I'm sorry, the district chair
yeah.
calls.
Yes.
At which he appoints the school member.
Yes.
Now, at that meeting, I believe, the committee then moves to electing a chair. So, something to be aware of, that meeting will kind of get things moving fairly quickly.
The interesting thing is, it does not sound like it doesn't have to be a meeting. The school board chair can appoint the rep anytime.
Well, I think they're doing that on the 13th.
Oh, okay.
For their rep.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
The 23rd would be the next step, which is calling the meeting to, so they would call the meeting,
Yes.
which will be here.
5 o'clock? If that works for them?
Check with them.
5 o'clock on,
The 23rd?
yeah.
If not, let us know, John. We'll, yeah.
Okay.
I think we're finished with that item on the agenda.
Wow,
Thank you.
good. Thank you.
Move on to the next item, annual planning workshop.
The second meeting of August works for GP-COG. They said they're 99% sure that they can have somebody here. If we want to go with that as a workshop.
The 27th, I will not be here.
Then,
Do we have any other options? I mean, we had talked about having it in place of a select board meeting on a Thursday.
yeah, I mean, we could just do an additional Thursday night.
We could just do it instead of like a workshop instead of a select board meeting on one of our,
Well, I think that was
That was, yeah.
what
that's
we were
they're
looking for.
proposing. I'm not here on August 27th.
Right. So, so the question is whether what other date should we schedule it for?
Either
And-
the 9th or an off Thursday night.
Or an off Thursday night, but if we stick with the Thursday night, would we do something the week before or the week after? Or do it in place of the September meeting? Right, those would be the options.
September 17th.
Is that that's an off week, isn't it, the 17th?
Or the 24th then?
So,
What month are we on?
September?
September, yeah.
so if we push it to September,
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
we're still 2 months ahead of last year's schedules. So, either, in place of either of the select board meetings or as an additional meeting?
I don't care.
I mean, and if we could manage in place of a standard meeting,
Yep.
that would be good.
Then I think it would be the second meeting of the month. It seems like we do all our reports and everything the first meeting of the month, so I think
Do business the first meeting of the month.
meeting of the month,
Yep.
and then the second meeting of the month, we have the workshop.
So, John, if you can ask them if they're available for this September meeting.
2024.
What, the 24th?
24.
In August, we'll plan to have some little preliminary discussion and just be sure we're prepared for the kind of things we want to have given some thought to in preparation for the meeting. Okay, so no further action on that. We'll wait to hear back. Next item on the agenda, trash junk coupons for transfer station. Who wants to speak to this one?
So this is something that I know Catherine and Richie had put together, and Mike, you also,
I talked to Catherine about it, and I thought it was a good idea.
where, for, my understanding is for people that would qualify for GA, they would be able to get coupons to be able to help clean up their properties. As an
So-
incentive to
Yep.
prevent nuisance properties.
I think the concept is, I fully support the concept. I think the qualifications of who'd receive it needs some conversation.
Yeah, I wasn't specific to, it has to be GA qualifications, because I know.
Oh, it doesn't have to
Because
be
I know
GA.
those are very, very, very low.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna ask people to provide any type of financial information to qualify for a coupon, and it seems.
So first, let me just step back. So we'll look at this as sort of the proposal of the concept, and see if there's kind of a general idea that sounds like a good idea. And then we have to work out the details if we think it's a good idea. Do we think it's a good idea?
I think
Can
it's a
someone give
good.
a little more detail of like what's included or how someone would come about to get this? Just high level without any specifics.
So stepping back,
Yep.
was there something that drove this, or did we just notice that there are people who perhaps need some help getting rid of trash that right now are struggling with the financial burden of doing that? Is that the idea?
I think Catherine started at first for GA, but then.
Yep.
In what took place is, and I've seen it with code too, is that we do have quite a few properties in town that have, gone into disarray. And I think this would be a good tool for code enforcement also to say, if they do get a complaint about a property, they can say, listen, town's willing to work with you, we're willing to here's a coupon for the free first half ton to help you get started, talked to Catherine also about maybe
Mhm.
getting a list of contractors in the area that would be willing to, I know I have a dump trailer, and I know there's other
Mhm.
contractors that might be willing to, just for that first half time, say, okay, I'd be willing to drop off my dump trailer, they could load it, and I could take it to, and I think other contractors in town would also be willing to, we could have a list that, that a revolving list that people could call and say, are you available to, just to help these people.
Sure.
I'm certain that people leave demolition on their property because they can't afford to take it to the dump. Without a doubt.
Yeah. And it's a way to also to discourage people just to drive down some back road and dump on, vacant properties or whatever. People just get overwhelmed and, besides trying to figure out to pay for food or this or that, it gets overwhelming, or they might not have a vehicle, they might not, and so it's difficult for these people to get to the transfer station on a regular basis, and then it gets so overwhelming that they don't know how to deal with it. And so I think this would be a start.
I know in the past, some time ago, since I've lived in Harrison, we used to allow free disposal of a number of items each year, like 4 tires and, other various things. We used to do it in the past, and it was, everybody got it,
Mhm.
so.
This isn't gonna break the bank, it's not gonna put the transfer station in the negative, so I think it's a good start, and it's showing that the town cares, and we're not just looking to write citations to people, we're willing to work with them, and this is a good start.
So let me just kind of offer a comment, because I think what I'm hearing is we could change a little bit of the tone on code enforcement and make it a more proactive function to prevent things falling into violations. And this would be one aspect of that.
One aspect of it. Mm-hmm.
And so that's, I think, one part of this is maybe looking at whether we want to simply look for potential, look for opportunities to prevent violations, things from falling into violations. And I guess, certainly GA started as one path here, but I think we should talk a little bit about, do we want to try and make code enforcement more proactive to not wait until the violations or someone complains about the violation. That, I think, is part of the sense that there are people who, if we could notice a pending situation and Jim had some opportunity, he could guide them into how to solve the situation, resolve the situation before it becomes an enforcement
Mhm.
issue. That this is kind of one
avenue,
one tool that could be available as part of that.
He is dealing with a couple cases that this, may help with.
Okay.
And of course, the less that we have to use legal, the better, so.
And the more we can prevent things from falling into violations, it improves.
A half a ton, I think, I forget what it would cost.
$150 now.
What?
$150.
$150, if it goes into violation and we have to get legal involved, it's gonna
Sure.
cost thousands of dollars.
Okay.
And obviously, these people don't have it, then putting a lien on a property and all that, I think this is a start to show that, we're the friendly village.
Yeah, do we want to think about maybe limiting how many we give out a year or something, just so it doesn't get out of control in any way?
No, I think because,
So, let me just suggest that there are approaches, and there's a lot of details we'll have to work out.
Yeah.
So, because you could literally budget for
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
And say
yeah.
that we'll allow up to so much. Now, we start to get into another area that's gonna take some more conversation, and this is maybe the planning workshop, which is the whole question of where we make decisions that affect the taxpayers. So
Mhm.
if there's revenue we're not gonna collect, that we just have to be careful about where there are property owners who had, in effect, no charges for mooring. They're not gonna have charges for mooring. This is kind of a reverse scenario. We're gonna allow services to be provided without charging. So we just have to be sure we put this in a consistent framework so we don't start appearing to be in conflict.
It would be a good idea to have some kind of criteria that
Yeah.
could be
Mhm.
followed, right?
Mhm.
So
Because
that
it sounds like
everyone's,
These are
right?
cases where we wouldn't see the
Yes.
revenue anyway.
Right.
Because it wouldn't be going to the transfer station, it'd be staying
Mhm.
either on their own property or getting dumped illegally somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we have to pay to dispose of it.
We do.
Right, we do
So
have to pay
we-
for it, so
we
we are.
dispose of it.
And
There is
so
a
part
cost,
of it
but we're
is
not-
maybe just to be able
The revenue
to be
side.
sure we can position this as a good, good deal for the town to be,
And
you
so,
know,
and
the
some
overall
of,
benefit is. the
and
right
some of this,
decision.
remember too, is, we'd be paying for this anyways. This might not be bulk items, this might not be construction debris, this might be trash, this might be trash that
Yep.
we would be paying for anyways if they had a means of whatever to take to the transfer station, but so we
Mhm.
would be paying for it one way or the other on probably a lot of this material anyways, you know. And we could make that criteria, no, we will not take construction debris.
Sure.
We will not take mattresses, things like that,
Sure.
that cost us,
Sure.
So it's things like that.
And so you're starting to get into, the public health emphasis. Which
Yes.
is another reason that we
Yep.
sort of put this together as a overall benefit. So, there seems to be a sense that there's an interest from the board for putting something in place. I guess the next step would be to put something down on paper that describes the program in a way that we can look, we can generate some feedback, yeah.
So some of the input in the email chain was, we wouldn't want to accept 50 tires.
Yeah, no.
Right.
If you look, there's.
There is a proposal here.
Yeah, that could be obviously altered to as needed in the last 2 pages of the section.
So a lot of it is here in terms of the train of thought that went into this. I mean, my suggestion would be for the next meeting, we try and get it on a page or so. And it would make it easier for us to ask questions.
Yeah,
It's a
she
really
does
good
have it
start
written
here.
down right here.
Yeah, the last few pages, there's
Yeah.
a very good start here.
It's, she started a lot of it, we
Ah.
just need to
Yeah.
review it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you're ahead of the game.
I tried.
Mhm.
So we should use the last couple of pages to generate questions between now and the next meeting.
Mhm. Yeah, this is great.
And it would, become a formal document that we would use. And we could then vote on whether we want to go forward with it.
Something else that, I know it's a little bit unrelated to this, but it's also that other towns do it, that's something that we should look at, is hazardous waste collection once a year. Other towns do it, we are in the Lakes region, we are trying to protect our lakes and everything. And it's something that we should look into.
I know Norway Parish Solid Waste has a huge hazardous waste collection once a year.
Once a year, and I think we should be looking into that.
And they take anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
You
a company
hire-
come,
oh,
you
yes,
hire,
hire
you hire a
some
company like
Yeah.
Clean Harbors or something, they come in, they have everything there. You do it on a Saturday or a Sunday, and basically anybody can bring in whatever, and basically, the company takes everything away and they charge the town.
Norway one is regional,
Do
right?
the people pay a fee?
It's just Norway and Paris
No.
that use that
Paris,
summer
okay.
transfer station.
But you're getting it out of.
I just know they have a program
Getting
that's
it from people
currently in
disposing
use.
it illegally.
Okay.
That's what you're trying, and that's what we're protecting.
Right.
So the other suggestion while we're on this general topic was whether we should schedule a hazardous waste day, whether we need to or not.
Yeah, I can check around and see what other
Okay.
towns do, and
Yeah.
maybe there's a town that could go in with us on it, or
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe
Mm,
Waterford
good
would be
idea.
interested in
Yeah.
dealing with us. They, you know, we're all talking about the same.
When I was in Clinton, the towns in that area all kind of came together. And I think it was actually organized by KB cog that sort of set it up.
Yeah.
So I can look into what our options are for that type of a program.
Yeah, I talked to Jack too, because Jack used to work for Clean Harvest, who, when I was in Massachusetts, they did the collections for the town I was in. They did the yearly collection.
Do you, John, you or Catherine, have any questions for us on this proposal? You have a sense of, I think, what the board is interested in?
Yep. Revised
Yep.
first.
Go ahead.
After reading this two-page proposal,
Yep.
pretty much answers every question we just had.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just
Every
wanna
concern.
review it.
Yep. Yeah, well, I think we'll have to be real clear down on, you know, in terms of how you describe eligibility. That'll be the sensitive subject, to be sure that it's not, that the rules are clear.
We have the standard, you know, some eligibility requirements that we hold every request to, so
Yep.
it's fair.
Yep.
And we can show the standard that we use.
Okay, very good. Any other comments, questions on this?
No rental properties.
No? Thank you. We'll move on to Public Safety Committee. So what's our action for tonight on the Public Safety Committee?
I guess I was looking maybe more of it as a discussion item to
Yep,
see
yep.
what the next steps are that you want to
Yep.
do.
So, the consensus is it's another committee that we think is worth forming, the board wants to form, a Public Safety
Absolutely.
Committee.
Yeah,
We have all the, I think you had put together a lot of information on
yeah,
it.
yeah. I think in the last packet, there was a
Yes.
form that, to walk through of what we wanted it to look like.
So the next step would be for us to vote to form a Public Safety Committee with some,
I think we would have to decide what we want it to look like.
Correct.
What is they're going to tackle, what they're not
Yes.
going to touch.
yep.
Because it can spider out very quickly.
So how do you want to proceed? We want to create the committee. We want to have John put together that information in a form that we can vote on that'll serve as the
There was,
charter.
there was a worksheet in the last form
Yep,
to
yep,
walk through to
yep.
sort of say, this, we want to include this checkbox, don't include that one.
You want us to complete that and give it to
Did you-
someone?
Maybe you guys complete it and turn it into me and I can compile it?
For the next
Yeah,
meeting.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. And formulate that in the sense of what you, it sounds like the board is interested in having the committee.
Yeah.
Catherine, do you mind resending it to everyone? Because I'm not sure.
I have it still.
Yeah, okay, well, we can make it easy for everyone.
Sure. So at the next meeting, I think the agenda item will be, we'll vote to form a Public Safety Committee with a description of what their charter will be. Are we thinking 5 members?
That's what it all says here.
Yep.
It's one of the options.
So I can kind of put together a draft of a scope of the committee.
Yep.
After I look at what
Mhm.
the board is thinking based on the questionnaire.
So we'll submit, the board members will submit the questionnaire to the town manager. John will compile the results in the form of a proposed recommendation for a Public Safety Committee. You'll have to ask the individual board members if you start to see some conflict what you think the scope will be. But the goal will be by the next meeting to see if we're all in agreement as to what should be included or not included. Anything that we think should not be included, real quickly, as part of this? So it will include, as a sort of general categories, it's including law enforcement, fire and rescue, emergency management, ambulance transport, ambulance service. Anything else? No? Is that? Okay, so next we'll kind of review a formal description, hopefully based on a consensus from what you'll hear between now and the next meeting. And then we will have to, at that point, advertise, we'll have something to advertise to solicit members. So, July, so perhaps in August, we'll be ready to have formed a committee and look for members who want to participate as a general timeline. Okay. Any other comments, questions, suggestions? No? Okay. Next item, review treasurer's disbursement warrant. We have the policy. And John, this is just to review the policy?
Yeah, it's an annual update that's done at before on the first meeting of the fiscal year.
This is one of our organizational, administrative kind of things that we need to do every year.
Do we make a motion to
approve the policy as,
So this just names the members of the board. That's the.
that would be the only change from year to year, would be, we just.
Yeah, that was the only, I took last year's and the only thing I changed was, well, actually I didn't have to change any of the
You
names.
did not.
Right. It was easy this year.
It was the date, was the only thing that.
You will have to change at least one next year.
Before the end of the year.
Excuse me?
Yeah. If there are any questions for John, I'll entertain a motion to approve the warrant, treasurer's disbursement warrants.
I make a motion to approve the treasurer's disbursement warrant policy as written.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the policy as written. All in favor? Another administrative job done. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the Old Mill Tavern liquor license, the renewal of the Old Mill Tavern liquor license.
I make a-
No issues.
No issues, something we do every year.
I make a motion that we approve the Old Mill Tavern's liquor license for 2026.
Second.
6/7, yeah.
The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? 5-0. Next item on the agenda is the Maine Municipal Association
Yep.
nominations.
Not a requirement, but if you are, if you want to as a board, one of the nominations is for the Legislative Policy Committee. And then the other one is for, the 2027 MMA Vice President Executive Committee members.
Any interest? Not hearing any enthusiasm.
We don't really know these people.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if I recognize
Yeah.
people or anything, so it's hard to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look
I
at
know.
what they wrote, but
Yeah.
you don't really.
So John, we can take no action on this.
Yeah.
Is that the consensus of the board?
Yes.
Yes, it's hard not
Yeah,
really knowing.
I think. I'm not sure if that's the official terminology. The consensus of the board is to take no action. I don't think we have to formally vote to table it. All right, moving on, parking enforcement is the next item on the agenda.
Yeah, so now that we're in the boating season, I'm hearing the issues with limited parking at the boat launch, Long Lake boat launch particularly. And it just issues with how people are parking and the fact of vehicles that don't have trailers parking in spots. So we have a couple of options, which, we could go with both or just one of them, but one is, in the contract with the sheriff's department, they can enforce local ordinances that include parking violations. I reviewed our parking ordinance, and we do have it in the fee schedule to assess fees on parking violations. So we would need to, the sheriff's department doesn't have ticket books that they would be able to use for our local violations, so we would need to, but this is just something generic that Catherine put together. So we could come up with something like this and get ticket books for the contract deputies to be able to write tickets for, and there is signage that says I believe it says towaway zone. And that's your other option, is that we can have an agreement with a towing company that will patrol the lot and tow.
So if we were to find them, they would have to come into the town office to pay that fine?
That would be paid just
And
like any of our.
What would be the
administrative
tracking on that? Would we reach out?
records. What's that?
Would we reach out if they don't come in and pay and, like, they just tear up the ticket? What's our follow-up? Or if they choose to fight it?
Well, if they choose to fight it, I guess it's appeal to.
Appeals board?
Appeals board.
Okay.
Gives the appeals board a little bit more to do. And then, after the appeals board, do they have another option if the appeals board? And what is our option if they don't pay it? Do I take them to court?
How does it work with any of our other,
That's what I'm asking.
if you don't pay a fine or I know we don't assess a lot of fines, but we do assess fees, and so it would be no different than if you don't register your dog or whatever the other different requirements are to pay for.
I'm just thinking,
required fees.
many of these might be people who are just up for a long weekend or a renter for a week who may not even be in Harrison. They might be coming from Bridgeton or Naples to use our boat launch. And how much tracking or,
I'd be interested to know if, through the state of Maine, cause it is a parking violation. It's a registration of a vehicle. Does it go to, if they don't pay it or anything, do we send it to the registry of motor vehicles and they can issue them?
yeah,
These are all questions
yeah,
that I
these
think
are
we need
just
answers
questions,
to.
I'm just curious.
Why write a citation if people are just gonna ignore it and tear it up and then we?
Well, there are repercussions if, I've gotten tickets and walked on top of, city before. There are repercussions. You will get something in the mail. You can, it can be sent to collections. There's a lot of different repercussions that can happen if you don't pay parking tickets. So, and I guess even if it's at least a deterrent, I guess, that if word starts getting around that now all of a sudden, we weren't doing anything.
Right, yeah.
And that's,
No,
we
great.
have to do something, so, that's, we can put all the signs we want up, but if people know that they're gonna get away with it, I think right now it does say, I believe it says towaway zone, but what it's lacking, and I did talk with a tow company, and they said they have their own signs that they would be able to use, and it would, a little bit more, you know, this lot is monitored by such and such Joe company, this is the phone number to call.
Mhm.
And that allows for people who, you know, you're trying to park your boat trailer and there's somebody parking sideways, taking up 3 spaces, there's a number to call. And I think that, you know, that could lead for a little bit more better compliance rather than just the sign that says
Yeah.
boat trailer parking only, towaways only, but
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
knows, at least people that are
Yeah.
familiar with the area,
Sure.
Mhm.
that there isn't actually any towing going on, so.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with ticketing, I think probably people know, just because there have not been tickets issued, that it's not, so we do have to do something. What that is, you know, just putting signs up isn't, I don't think is gonna get compliance. Cause we already
Do-
have the signs up.
Yeah, do we know what the major problem is? Is it just that there's too many boat trailers parked? We don't have enough parking for boat trailers.
There isn't, there's not, you
So-
know, it's not,
Right.
Well, we're the only free,
Well,
Boat
I mean, I'm
landing.
sure there's a limited parking at all boat ramps.
well, others, Naples and everything, they charge, cause there is a fee to, we're the only, on Long Lake, we're the only boat ramp that's free, that there is no charge to put your boat in.
Correct, so we
a lot
draw
of them come
more of a
down here
crowd,
for that
so
reason.
it contributes to the problem. So the intent is to start with noticing for violators to get notices. And it sounds like we want to clarify how the process will play out once they get a notice.
What is the fine? Do you know, parking fine?
Off the top of my head, I don't, it's in the fee schedule, it hadn't changed this year, it
Okay.
wasn't one of the ones that
Okay.
changed.
And so I think the big question seems to be that if they don't pay the fine, what the enforcement mechanism will be.
I believe our parking policy also says it doesn't necessarily just have to be the sheriff's office. I think as town manager, you can say, like the harbor master or something, if they're out there and see something, they can also. So we may want to double check that to see if there's other people who might be out there.
To be able to issue the
Mhm.
citation?
Yep, if they're out and about doing stuff and see it.
I think we need a larger review of our parking ordinance. We've established recently that the ordinance says that there's no parking on the streets in downtown Harrison, including Smith Street, Winslow Street, High Street, and School Street. The ordinance says no street parking, but we allow that. So, I think we should review the parking ordinance.
I think 117's included, I think that, I'm pretty sure it's right to the Bridgeton line is what it says in that ordinance, but, you know, you drive by there and.
There's parking
Well,
spots
on the
carved out there
weekend,
though.
There's all kinds of parking,
Yeah.
you know, vehicles with boat trailers, that's where they're parking, is right on 117, so.
And there is no available option for finding additional trailer parking.
I think we need to look into the property where the farmer's market used to post up, that's owned by the water district. I don't know if it's possible, but that property is flat and it could accommodate probably 20 trucks and trailers if it was,
Served as auxiliary parking.
and I don't know if that's even possible, but we should look into it.
It was something that we were brought up through the comprehensive plan too.
It's a short walk to the boat ramp from there.
So it would be good to know that there aren't any options if we are gonna start issuing violations at the same time. So do we need a little more information for our next meeting?
I think we need to make sure that we have
Before we start issuing these?
some more information.
Is that the consensus, or just, are we directing John to start having these issued right now, or do we need?
We don't have them right now
We,
anyway,
yeah,
so.
and we'd need to say on here too, how to pay the fine.
Okay,
So
so
there's a little more things that have to go on
couple
there.
of more pieces of information regarding if there are any other additional parking options. and how we would actually enforce them. And I think your other question was whether someone like the harbor master can also issue the notice. Any other questions for John for
No.
next
this
time?
is- Thank you for
Good.
pulling us together.
Yeah, it's a start.
Mhm.
Yeah. Next item on the agenda, crack ceiling bid.
Two bids came back. One was from, Coastal Road Repair, and the other was Seamus Paving and Seal Coating. The reply from, the bid reply from Coastal was a lot more thorough. The prices were better, and there were some questions about comparing apples to apples with Seamus that did not get answered. So the recommendation is to go with Coastal Road Repair for crack sealing. And the first page is the list of what the price per road would be that's within our budget.
And hopefully this will keep these roads.
It should extend the life of these
Extend the
roads.
life of the roads.
And what would be nice is if we can get it done before, while we still have the software, to be able to have the crack sealing done, maybe even some paving done, and then do an update of the road scan to see what our roads are looking at as a result of both the preventative maintenance and what we were able to get paved, so.
We budgeted $50,000 in capital.
We did, yeah.
We need a motion from us to
Yes.
approve.
Yep.
We will, just,
Have we looked into, I'm sorry.
so I think, well, I don't know if the question was on that procurement process. So there's no shared options, say with GP Cog, for example. Crack sealing isn't one of the ones that GP Cog does, regional.
It is, but for whatever reason, the Public Works Director didn't.
Okay, I think we just want to be sure that we know that we get a better deal doing this ourselves.
And, well, I'm not sure we can do it ourselves.
I'm sorry, I just
No,
meant,
that might be the part.
I meant initiating the contract ourselves.
Oh, okay, yep.
As opposed to using theirs.
Also, have we looked into any other towns that has used coastal, and have they been happy with what they?
There are references in here.
The main DOT is their big reference.
Yeah,
Main DOT is,
There are also ways that they just did the sidewalk.
yeah, that's right, they used the sidewalk project.
oh, they just did the sidewalks.
For the main DOT. I'm impressed with that sidewalk repair.
Nice
It
job.
was very
Very
extensive,
nice.
much more than I
It's
ever.
a lot more than I
envisioned.
thought we were gonna be getting.
Yeah, it's crazy. They did a great job.
I think Maine, when we had that walkthrough with Maine DOT, I think they decided to do a lot more looking at how bad the sidewalks were.
I was a little nervous, they started when they did,
Yes.
Yes, that they weren't gonna.
and whether they were gonna
before-
finish
Mhm.
before the weekend, yeah.
100 degrees there.
Yeah.
But no, they reset curve, they reset granite and everything else that they weren't, that wasn't supposed to be part of it
I
at
thought,
all.
I thought it was just gonna be the ADA ramps.
And the
Yeah.
initial description did not look to be that extensive.
So are we ready to have a motion on approving the crack sealing bid?
I make a motion to approve Coastal Road Repair, accept their bid on crack sealing.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve award the crack sealing bid to coastal road repair.
For the roads that were listed.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the 9 roads we have listed. In case someone is interested, we have the list available. Motion's been made and seconded. No further questions? All in favor? 5-0. John, if you could just confirm that there's no regional or shared GP-cog bid.
We just approved this bit, so.
No, I know, but we could rescind that if he found out that we missed something in the process.
Do you wanna just name the roads for the people that are watching
Well,
online?
the roads listed in the estimate are different than that road in that short list, so. Or there's 9 roads listed on one list and at least 11 on the other.
Can I request that on next week's newsletter, we just publish the list?
Newsletter?
Yeah, we put the publish of the official list of the roads that'll be crack sealed.
I got a question, kind of random, but there was an excavator parked at Crystal Lake parking lot for a better part of a week. Does anybody know any details about that?
That was theirs, from the sidewalk.
State,
They're just
the
waiting. there.
contractor
It was
from the sidewalk?
The company that you just approved, yeah.
All right, makes sense. Instead of leaving it here, they put it
Yeah.
over. Makes sense.
Pay attention when trucks go by.
Other business? Do we have any other business?
This is a thank you letter at that, or at the last section of your packet from the Dennison for. Thank you.
From the Dennisons?
Oh, yeah.
I gotta find out what's up with that plaque. You just reminded me.
Yeah,
There is a plaque that, for hanging here. I'll find out what's up with that.
Do we have an updated name for the Boston King that we're ready to post after the ceremony?
I'll check with Kristen. My guess is that's probably
I'm sure she is.
going on there as part of the
Yeah, July
process.
16th, yeah.
yeah. Anything else? Now we'll move on to select board items, comprehensive planning committee?
Yep, so we had a meeting last night. We had a guest speaker come in and talk about, he's a developer, to talk about affordable housing. Nate was one of the people who showed up also, so I don't know if you have some thoughts on the speaker.
It also was recorded and
Yep.
I'm sure it will be on LRTV. I thought the speaker brought a lot of very valuable information, answered a lot of questions I had about affordable housing and how that may look to the town, and his presentation included a lot of information on things the town should do in the process and things we should not do in the process. The handouts were valuable, you know, but it said we should not be the developer, we should not own the land, own the project, we should not manage the project. Those are things the town should not do. They have state, Maine State Housing and Avesta Housing and a whole list of other entities that would lead those projects to completion. And it was a good presentation, about 45 minutes or 50
Yeah.
minutes that he spoke. Covered a lot of information. The guy has an extensive resume. He's done all aspects of affordable housing development, from being the lender to project manager, everything in between.
He did offer to also work with the comprehensive plan, the town, GP-cog, and come in and do another workshop, because I think it's really important that the citizens of the town give input as to what they would like to see. One of the big take-homes I got was, we need to understand what it is that the town wants, and you almost have to have it defined as to who would go into this affordable housing before you get people to commit to taking out a project.
He gave an example. The town of Rumford has been very successful with a lot of projects. he also said that the town holds a carrot and a stick, basically entice people to come here. He thought that based on our current demographics, the vast majority of ownership, that he thought a project where the end result is owned units would be appropriate for town, but then there was a lot of feedback that there was a need for rental projects.
I have a question. My question is that at the first session where we had 80 people there, affordable housing was at the very bottom of the list of what the citizens wanted, and it seems like it's being pushed when most of the citizens, I mean, the top two things I believe was recreational and open space. And it just seems like this comprehensive plan is being driven more towards affordable housing. I know it needs to be part of the comprehensive plan to be approved by the state, but I'm just concerned that the citizens aren't being listened to, that the citizens spoke at that, you know, and it wasn't a high priority. I mean, I think the town needs it. I believe the town needs it, but that's just my opinion. But, you know.
And that's why I think it would be really critical to have another workshop and bring everyone in to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
We should take into consideration, I would guess that a lot of the people that would most benefit from affordable housing aren't the people who attend our meetings. So, you know, you gotta consider your audience. Affordable housing is a serious issue in this town. It's just almost non-existent. Anybody who grows up here and wants to, you know, move out of their parents' home, there's no opportunity in Harrison. Elderly person that wants to downsize into a smaller home in our community, there's almost no option.
I agree.
And the process, you know, the housing pool that we have leads towards more second homes and less families and less children. And if that's the vision that, you know, everybody wants to see, then we continue on the same path.
No, that's a great point. Do you have a good idea how we can start to reach out to some of those people and get their input, the ones who would benefit? Because that's really what we need, right? That if we're not getting the right part of the population, we need to figure out how to get in touch with the part of the population we need their feedback from.
I don't know immediately, but.
No, I know, and this is where.
You don't have the names on it.
No, and I don't want names
No,
to
I
seem
know.
like, but, you know, it's gonna struggle with the comprehensive plan of how do we get the outreach to the right groups and get their input. Their feedback's very important, but we.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and we-
just last night, how many people did you have it, I mean, we had a
I was the only
workshop.
person other than
Yeah.
committee members.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
It's almost like you need to suggest something extremely controversial.
Yes. and
We're
that's what-
going to pave radar, I don't know, right? And then you're gonna get a lot of people.
no, but
I don't
that's.
know,
I don't know how, I
right?
mean, we've struggled with that all along. If
Right.
people look at tonight, we have 3 people in the audience at select board meetings. It's town meetings, same way, everything, but this is I mean, we had that one meeting with 80 people, I understand, but we need to find out what the town wants. Do
Well,
they-
As a
No.
whole, right?
As
It's
a
just-
whole,
yeah,
as a
and
whole.
not that- yeah.
The other thing we may have to consider, and it's the same problem, I think, with short-term rental, is we're almost gonna have to state the opposing opinion and what happens if you don't do these things. I mean, you know, we've sort of talked about the demographics problem, and but sometimes you have to say taking no action is action, and the result will follow a path that no one wants to wind up down there. I think the whole problem, it's the whole sustainability issue is no one really relates to that, and they don't put having long-term sustainability as the top of their priority list because of all the other demands that are more immediate. But so it may need to be some way to frame it as the choice if you don't do certain things, what the results are likely to be, so that people don't feel that they can comfortably simply ignore the problem with it, which I think is what, you know, you're saying, is it's not high on their list.
Of the people we hold.
Well, right, and so the only way to get maybe the attention of the people who haven't participated is to say, what's the other scenario? What's gonna happen if we don't do something? It's sort of like when we talk about downtown vitalization, is if we don't do something, is the block slowly gonna deteriorate? And we just have to say that's the choice you're gonna make if you decide not to do something, so. So there's probably a communications aspect to this, maybe. I use short-term rental because I think it's the same problem.
Yeah, so we're at the point, the survey has closed, as well as the responses from workshop number 2 have closed, which did have some questions in there about the affordable housing. But we do have options within the subcommittees that we can go out to and ask questions and get feedback.
Mhm.
So we can think of, if people have suggestions about creative ways of getting input. We're still at that point.
How many surveys did you get?
There were at least 250 surveys back.
That's
That is
good.
not,
Mhm.
so that's 10%.
Mhm.
There were a whole bunch that were done on paper that they haven't entered yet, so,
Okay,
yeah.
that's really good.
Good. So we'll get a better,
Well, yep, so DBCOG is gonna pull all the data together, they're gonna get it to the comprehensive plan committee, the raw data for, the next meeting, the end of July. They are taking some time in writing, draft chapters for us, as well as pulling together formalized data from the surveys and the workshops, and they'll have that for the August 8th meeting. So
Very
if people
good.
are interested and really wanna see, hey, this is what it looks like, August 8th
Okay.
meeting.
Is it a Wednesday?
It's a Wednesday, yes,
Yeah,
of course.
see.
Okay.
I wanna be involved and I
You
can't.
know.
Has there been a discussion of, I know our ultimate target was town meeting next June.
That's still what we're hoping for. So I believe the plan is, we'll have some draft chapters and everything. They're gonna do one more workshop, September, October timeframe. And we'll have, still a draft copy, but that people can look at the different chapters and give feedback, because there'll still be time to reformalize things and have, I believe the plan is April, to have a form so that people can actually start reading it, and then it be voted on in June.
Good.
Good, thank you. Any questions?
I know your meetings are on Wednesdays, but I would make a suggestion that possibly you might change them during the summer.
During the summer?
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm not, we had over 160 last
Yeah, I
night
know.
at Music Heals, and some of those people probably, I know I'm on the subcommittee for affordable housing, but I couldn't
Right.
go last night because
Right.
You kinda had 160
I had
people at your house.
160
Yeah.
people at my house, so
Yeah.
I couldn't
Okay.
leave.
I will put something out there for them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have something.
You have something? Yep.
Yeah, that I would have on the other
Yep.
business. I spoke with John and just, I think the board needs to come up with or John and the board needs to come up with a policy for signage. I noticed over the summer already, Deer Trees is posting advertising on the fence, the tennis court fence, the basketball court fence in downtown. I don't know if they've asked anybody or they've just done it, but I think we need to come up with a policy, because if they're doing it, what if then someone comes up with something else that might be controversial that, and we don't have anything in place, and then someone says, oh, well, Deer Trees was able to do that, why can't I do that? So I think we need to come up with some type of formal policy in regards to
Okay.
advertising anything on town property.
Agreed, because down by Long Lake Boat Launch too, that gets,
Well, if Jim takes those out
I
on a
know,
regular
they-
basis and puts them in, well, I know highway department,
Yeah.
or Al takes them
Yeah,
out and
they
they brings them to
cool.
Jim, and then Jim calls those people and say, if you want your signs, you can come
Yep.
get them. But
I think those are just businesses.
those just
Yeah.
I think
businesses,
like the
Yeah.
nonprofits.
the
Profits,
nonprofits,
yeah.
and stuff,
like
but I
that
just
area.
think we should come up with some type of policy so that if something controversial,
Mhm.
they don't come before the board and then say, well, why is this person being able to do it and we're not? So I think we should just have a policy.
So,
Policy for
another
23rd.
to-do.
Sorry, John.
That's okay.
But I just think it's something that, you know, if we have it, then it's, won't be controversial.
So you're saying it's town-wide or just on town property?
Just on town property. You know, just on town property. If someone wants, I just think that, like their Avenue Q, which I think is great, but what if someone else comes in and?
Well, it's just real easy to hang a sign on the chain link fence, right?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, you know, and
Banner.
we don't allow business, you know, so I just think we should come up with some.
Fair enough.
They should at least ask.
Yeah.
See, even while you still knock the policies off, we just keep adding to the list. Anything else?
Nope.
Next regular meeting, Thursday, the 23rd.
And I will not be here for that meeting, I'm away.
Okay.
Lost.
And you'll let us know regarding the school district meeting.
Yep.
Other than that, nothing else on the agenda except adjournment, so.
I'll make a
I
motion
make a
to
motion.
adjourn.
Beat me
Second.
too. I think I heard it moved and seconded. All in favor?